What's up, everybody? Live with Mike. I have another special guest. Now, this guest, right, has been working with me longer than I've been here, right? I remember her being here when I first got here. And Pamela Ives, check this out. If you're a nurse and you want to be a nurse, that's the woman to see. Right over there in enrollment services. They're going to get new digs pretty soon, so that'll be pretty cool. So, how you doing, Pamela? I can usually ramble off, and you got to tell me stop. How you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you.
That's good. That's
Thanks.
good.
Welcome.
That's good. And I apologize to the viewers right now because it says that my internet is not stable, right? So hopefully we'll get through this. We'll get through this.
That's technology for you.
Yes, yes. So first of all, I'd like to mention that Pamela's been here since 1992, right? 1992. Yeah, so just a wealth of knowledge right here. So exactly, what exactly do you do here at Western Iowa Tech, Pam?
Okay, so I am one of the admissions advisors, and specifically, I help a lot of the nursing students who are just getting started, the CNA students, along with Debbie Rodriguez, and then also the dental assisting students and the pre-dental hygiene. If anybody's trying to get into a hygiene program, I might help them get started with some of their gen eds here at WIT. We don't have hygiene at WIT, but I might help them prepare to transfer somewhere. And then just pinch hitting if a student walks in and nobody else is available in any program, all of the advisors in our area can pretty much jump in with any program as needed too.
Wow.
But we kind of all have our specialty areas too.
And yours is nursing.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. So another question at you. So what's your background? Where did you do college? How did you get to Western Iowa Tech?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, and both of my parents did Air Force and 4 years of college, so that was kind of interesting. Even my grandma, who was born in 1991, graduated from, so that's kind of cool to be able to say your grandmother
Yeah.
graduated from college.
Yeah. Man.
After high school, I went to University of Northern Iowa in Cedar Falls for a couple years. Absolutely loved it, but it was saying, I've got to get out of here for a year. I just got to get out of Iowa for a year. So I did like a national student exchange program.
Okay.
And that was a really cool experience. I just kind of picked somewhere on a map and ended up going to New University in Los Mexico. And I was going to be there for a year on exchange, but then I ended up kind of liking the weather. So I stayed there and graduated from there in like a marketing / merchandising degree.
Okay.
And then after that, I actually moved to Mesa, Arizona for a little while.
Okay.
Where I worked for, I actually worked in men's clothing, in that area. Wow. Which was really cool because, as you know, Arizona has spring training. So I got to meet a lot of the baseball players. So that was really cool. At the time I was young, I had no idea who this Ken Griffey Jr. was, who signed my piece of paper. And later, that's my big regret.
Wow.
But so then after I was in Arizona for a while, and then I ended up having my family for support, and started off part-time at WIT when he was only 4 months old on March, 9 years coming up here pretty soon. And I started out like in registration and working at the front desk. So I kind of got and as you know, Mike, there's no degree in college admissions advising.
That's
There
right.
isn't really in that. So who would have known that what you recruiting at that time, the recruiting and advising were in the same area. So we did all of the recruiting and all of the advising back then. And that kind of just, led into the full-time work. And I've kind of been in that same area for quite a while now.
Wow. Wow. So what you're saying is, and here, this is a message to the students, right? Just because you major in something doesn't always mean that you're going to be working in it. You know, the professional,
That's so true.
yeah, they just really want a degree, right? Everything that you go through getting your degree, the ups, the downs, the late nights, all that stuff makes you into a great employee, right? And that's what they're looking for. Right now, there's exceptions to the rules, like nursing, right? But usually, people don't work in their majors. Usually, they find some kind of opportunity and they work somewhere different. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and it is funny because like some of the jobs I had in college, I actually worked in the UNI costume shop as a work study job, sewing
Okay.
costumes for plays. I worked in their catering service, that actually helped me to later get waitressing jobs. At New Mexico State, let's see, what did I do there? I worked in the library at New Mexico State,
Ah,
ironing labels on books in the library, ironing labels on books.
wow.
I mean, that is really old school.
That is really
And
old school.
we had to file those cards for the filings at the library. That was a boring job.
Oh my gosh. So here it is. I'm gonna put you on the spot now. Put you on a spot. Is there any type of student that that you were the advisor of them and they just made it through, but at first they didn't seem like they were going to make it through, but for some reason they got it. You don't have to mention the name, but is
Yeah.
there a story that you have where you've seen a student go up and down and up and down, and last of all, they graduated?
Well, a lot of my students, I am so impressed with. They've got families.
Yeah.
They are working full time, some of them at Tyson, and they're working at full time at Tyson at night and then going to school during the day in nursing. And they've got families. And I'm thinking, there is no way you're going to do this. But one example that I just talked to on the phone the other day, and he was a smart guy, but he was working full time at Wells in networking, going to school at WIT in nursing,
Wow.
and I think he was taking care of his mom too. And I just called him the other day because I was checking to see if he did our LPN program, and I was checking to see, hey, do you want to go on to our RN? Well, guess what? He moved to Mesa, Arizona. He got a job as an LPN out there for $27 an hour. So
Wow.
he's going to stay put there for a while. And his son is going to go to ASU. But, it's just amazing what these students, like when I went to college, that was my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
All it was spending money and, like spending money as far as food and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't have family that I had to take care of. So my props go out to these students that can put all that
Amen.
together. I
Amen.
cannot imagine how stressed some of their lives are.
I
So
feel the
yeah,
same
it's
way.
really rewarding to see. And that's why I think a lot of our students, especially in nursing, do kind of more of a part-time.
Yeah.
They will be working full-time, kind of going to school part-time. And then when they actually start the actual nursing classes, then they kind of have to cut back on work
Right.
and focus more, as school is more their full-time job at that
Right.
point.
Right. Wow. And I like
Because
I
yeah,
said,
it's a lot to take care of.
yes. And I didn't have a job when I was in college and I still had a hard time. Right?
Yeah,
Nobody to take
no
care of.
kidding.
All I had to do is take care of myself and I still had a hard time, you know?
Yeah.
So, wow, that's just crazy. So,
Community college is just a totally different, group
yeah,
usually.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you. And I think we both get a clear picture of who they are because we've been here for so long. right?
Yeah.
And I do value them as some of the best students on the planet just because they juggle
Oh,
so many things like you just mentioned, right? Juggle so
exactly.
many things, especially the adult students, right? So check this out. Here's another question for you, my last question for you. Pam, so if you can leave some tips or some advice to students that may be watching this video right now, what would that be?
I would say definitely, not only ask your teachers questions, but ask your classmates questions. I mean, we did study groups. We did a lot of one-on-one studying. I know for like accounting, I
Mhm.
went to that tutor all the time, and that was just Principles Accounting 1. But if you messed up on one little decimal point, your whole thing
Yeah,
was off.
yeah,
So I was constantly math. I was going to my math tutor quite a bit just because if I couldn't get past this concept, it was going to make the next one a lot harder. And
wow,
do it right away. Like just start off the semester, get with those study groups, get with your tutors. Ours is in the CLC, the Comet Learning Center, and I think we call them academic coaches, but it's tutors, same thing. Keep up on your homework. Don't stay behind. Don't fall behind, because once you do that, it's going to be
hard
really
to catch
hard to
up.
catch up. And another thing I would definitely say is apply for scholarships. I mean, it's amazing how many scholarships are out there that go just,
Yeah,
awarded because
yeah,
nobody applies for them.
yeah, yeah.
You and I remember filling out an 8-page essay scholarship. Now, I know nobody else must have filled that out because I got that scholarship and it was $800. And in 1986,
That's a lot of money.
$800 was a lot of
That's a lot of
money.
money.
So I would definitely apply for those scholarships. WIT has the foundation scholarship, which
Yeah.
is awesome. And we give out at least 200 of those.
And we still have
So I
money
would,
left over on some semesters,
exactly.
right? So get
Yep.
out there and apply. Definitely apply. So check this out, Pam. It's been nice chatting with you. You're definitely a pillar here at Western Iowa Tech, especially for the nursing program. You are indirectly responsible for a lot of the nurses that work in the Siouxland area, right? And either way you cut it, that's facts, right? So I bid you a good day today, and I'll see you in the hallway, and God bless you.
You too. God bless you. Thank you so much, Mike.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.